Shalom, shalom, shalom. Welcome back, man. Another Tuesday. Class is good to see you guys. Good to be with you guys. I know we can't see you technically, but it's good to be back on live, right? Uh, Giving all honor and glory to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We do so by way of His only begotten Son, who is an instrument of salvation for the nation of Israel, who we see generally speaking as the Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Of course, we know we're scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. We're not ignorant to that fact. Let me play this real quick. We're going to dispatch some angels real quick as we play the blowing of the shofar. Come, man, come. So today's lesson, man, let me pull this back up so I can follow along with my lesson for today. Where we starting at? Right here. Today's lesson is called Clearing Cache and Cookies. Clearing cache and cookies. Brother Obadiah, I don't know if you know about this. You know what clearing cache and cookies is?
Nah, I ain't never heard of that, bro. I ain't never heard of that, brother.
We're gonna find out today. There was a time where I ain't know where it was, man. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, man, what, bro? Cache and cookies. Somebody telling me to clear my cache and cookies. I'm like, are you trolling? Like, what are you talking about? Clear my cache and cookies. But it's actually a thing. We're gonna get into it today.
Oh,
see how it relates to the Bible. Go ahead.
Oh, you ever been on your phone and you
you gotta explain it because I got 3 videos, man. It's gonna explain it now.
Yeah, I was just letting them know, like, I wasn't gonna explain it all the way. I was just gonna ask him that question, like, if he ever seen it pop up.
Oh, like accept these cookies.
You ever seen that at the bottom of the screen when you
you go to a website and it says accept these cookies?
I've seen that before.
Gotcha. It's gonna be somewhat into that, right? I'm gonna share my screen real quick. We're gonna play the first video. This first video is just, I guess, how you technically would clear cache and cookies, right? It's not really what it is. I got 2 videos on that, but if somebody tells you you need to clear your cache and cookies, this is what you would do, right? Let me y'all can hear it.
To clear your cache and your cookies, you're going to open up a new Chrome tab, and then you're going to go in the upper right-hand corner next to it's either your initials or whatever picture you have for your Google login. A lot of people call this the CrossFit Snowman. You're just going to click on that, and then you're going to go down to Settings. Once you get into Settings, you want to go to Privacy and Security. From there, you'll go to Delete Browsing Data. And you just want to make sure that browsing history is unchecked, but you do want to check cookies and cache. And then you just simply hit Delete Data.
So essentially, man, clearing cache and cookies from right there is she's just walking you step by step on how to clear your data, right? Clear your browser history, right? I want you guys to keep that in mind. Not necessarily you guys on the stage with me, but the viewers as well, man. Keep that in mind, man. Deleting your history, deleting your data, right? Your browsing history, whatever, right? Let me share my screen again. I got 2 more videos and we'll jump into some scriptures here. Which one do I want next? We'll go to, dang, both of these videos are kind of the same, but we'll go to this guy. We'll go to Edom first, right? Go to Edom first. He explains it a little bit what it is, right?
less than 60 seconds, clearing your cache edition. Ever since I first started using technology and I've been having issues with it, I've always heard someone be like, oh yeah, just clear your cache, it'll fix everything. I'm like, I have no clue what that means. And I know you probably don't either, so we're gonna talk about it. Basically what a cache is your phone or computer saves a little bit of data from your apps and websites that you open. Think about it like your device's short-term memory. It remembers stuff like images, files, or even website code, so that next time you go into that app or website, it loads just a little bit quicker for you. But sometimes the cache gets either too big or too old. It can cause glitches like apps crashing or your website just looks really weird and clunky for some reason. So in short, clearing your cache wipes out that saved data, but it frees up space and it can fix random tech problems that pop up when you go onto a website or your favorite app. And just a reminder, clearing your cache doesn't delete your photos or your logins or any personal stuff like that. It just makes apps or websites load just a little bit quicker. If you like these quick explainer type videos, make sure to subscribe and follow.
Right, man. So what he was going into, right, was the fact that these things are supposed to be good, right? Cache and cookies. We got another video too. It's supposed to be good, but sometimes they can get overloaded, man. And sometimes when they get overloaded, your things don't work properly, right? They work slower. The images seem wonky, right? They're sluggish. They're delayed. Things are delayed. You sitting there refreshing, things like that. You can't save anything because the storage is full type deal. And so clearing your cache and cookies often will help that as well, right? Got one more video for you guys. Now this guy talks with an accent, right? But when you talk with people with accents, after a while, you start to get the hang of what they're saying, man. So just bear with him. He said some good stuff too. Let me make sure the volume up on this. Here we go.
Have you ever wondered what website cache and cookies mean? Let me break it down for you in 60 seconds. Cache is how websites keep their temporary files on your phone or laptop. This helps them load faster the next time you visit the website. But over time, it can become too much and make your device very slow. But the good news is you can clear it. Just head over to your browser settings and clear the cache. Now, your browsing experience might be slow for a short period of time, but it will definitely free up space on your phone. Cookies, on the other hand, are small files that save your choices and login information on the websites you visit regularly. Now, they can be useful, but some cookies can be used to track you. Should you accept them? It depends. Accepting cookies makes browsing easier, but if you don't want to be exposed to privacy threats, you should restrict third-party cookies in your settings. Clear your cache regularly and be mindful of the cookies you accept. The internet is not a completely safe space. Follow me for more tech tips like this, and I'll see you in the
Man. So he kind of went into both cache and cookies. Cache being, the data that is saved, and cookies being kind of like the memory for certain websites. So for instance, if you got to implement a bunch of information into that website, a lot of times you'll see them on like store websites, right? Where you have to add stuff to your cart and stuff like that. What it does is, man, it memorizes certain things that you like, things, it's like it memorizes the algorithm that you do on certain websites. That way, when you revisit the website, it can already, kind of gear you towards stuff that you may like, kind of like what Netflix does a little bit, right? But oftentimes these things can get in the way. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes technology, even though it's supposed to help us gain knowledge or further our wisdom and stuff like that, sometimes it can be a hindrance. And that's what we're going to talk about today, right? So clearing cache and cookies, right? Let me see if I can go ahead and pull up the Bible real quick.
Yeah, a lot of times, man, a lot of people, you may find yourself on a website, like on a store, say Walmart.com, DickSportingGoods.com, and you're like, how did they even know I lived in this city? But you forgot that you allowed Google to know your location, because when you open Google said, can we use your location? And you said yes. So now stuff like that goes into other websites and stuff that you're seeing. All that stuff keeps getting saved through your cache and your cookies. Next thing you know, things might be working slower, right? And you don't know how much information is being saved all the time. Your email, certain passwords, whatever you may be logging into. So,
Con, man. So I'm I wrote down a few things in my notes, man. Just jotting down notes when the lesson popped in my head a couple days ago. What I wrote down is this: so clearing cache and cookies as it relates to the Bible means essentially the cache and the cookies part are associated with or parallel to clutter, right? And I have written down in my notes, a cluttered mind will equal a cluttered life, right? A cluttered mind or a cluttered cache and cookies will often move your life in the same direction: slow, sluggish, wonky, right? Stagnant, right? Ugly. You know what I'm saying? These things will be stuck in that. And so in this lesson, we're going to be going over how to clear some of the cache and cookies in your life, right? I got here written down, it says, unclutter your mind from social media. Because a lot of times, man, just like when we see cache and cookies, what they do is it's a short-term memory, but it remembers things that you may like. It remembers your browser history. So you might type in one letter and then your favorite browser that you normally go to is already popped up, right? It remembers things you search, stuff like that for your cookies and stuff like that. Things that you implement, like your card information and stuff like that. That's why the dude was saying, hey, look, take it with a grain of salt. But social media, right, can also be that in our lives, right? A lot of things you see on social media are great, a lot of good information, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes we can overload ourselves with information and it becomes a bad thing. What do I mean by that? Sometimes we can be on there so much and be consuming so much information that it starts to clutter our mind, right? And it starts to affect our decision making. We go out, friends, I just throwing it out there. Say you trying to go and buy a vehicle, but you're constantly on social media consuming all this information about vehicles, right? And so it comes to a point where you can't even make a decision on a vehicle because your mind is so cluttered because this vehicle has this, but it don't do this. And it told me, and they warned me about this and to watch out for this. And I can't find a vehicle in my price range that's going to do this, that, and the third. And then you just overwhelmed, right? But we can see things like that in all aspects dealing with social media, because in social media, there's literally an algorithm. There's literally a topic for everything that's over consumed, right? Am I lagging a little bit? But there is also there's a topic for everything that's over consumed, and within that, you can clutter your mind, and it brings in one of the words we're going to be talking about today is anxiety, right? Go ahead, Brother Azrael.
Yeah, I was talking to a brother, and me and him were just talking about how smart and talented people get nowhere in life. And he was saying some of the most smart, some of the most talented people, they don't go anywhere in life because they're too good at everything and they know too much about everything and they don't know which lane they should be in, right? Meaning, they've kind of, like, as you would say, cluttered their talents and cluttered their abilities in so many different avenues to where they don't know which one they should take, and they end up having that anxiety crash and going nowhere in life. A lot of the people that you see that are successful, for example, like Kevin Durant, if you watch Kevin Durant on his interview, he said, I have no plan B. Basketball was everything. That basketball was what I was good at. A lot of the people that you see that are the greats, they picked one lane and stayed in it. But a lot of times when you are multifaceted and you're good at a lot of things, right? A lot of times that can hold you back in life because your mind is too cluttered. The possibilities of what if I make it in this? What if I make it in that? But I know I can make it in this. But I know I'm good enough to do this. I can see myself doing this. I want to do this. And you'll never find something to stick to.
Oh, man. They say a jack of all trades, but master of nothing, right? And that's kind of coincides with that phrase, right? You know a little bit about everything, a little bit about a little of everything, right? But when it comes to one thing, your mind can't hone in on it because you got so much stuff going on in your head, right? Often, sometimes, man, you ever see them kids in class that it's test time, and they got so much going through their mind they can't even everybody else taking the test, and they might do a number of things. They might 5 seconds, 5 minutes after the test was passed out, they just slam their pencil down, take their paper to the teacher, and walk out the classroom because they just was overwhelmed or whatever. They just couldn't think straight. You know what I'm saying? That anxiety will get to you, man. You got so much stuff running through your mind, you can't concentrate, right? I got here, it says, so for social media, man, a lot of things, man, when you overconsume information, it can get you to fear monger, right? Now you're afraid of everything. Everything outside is bad. You want to live in a bubble now, right? And you don't want to touch nothing. You don't want to eat nothing, no nothing, right? They incite anxiety. We brought up anxiety. They make you feel like you're unfulfilled in a way, right? Because when you consuming so much information about, information itself, you don't know information. You like, dang, man, I'm behind the bar. Everybody knows all this stuff, but I don't, right? It makes you feel unfulfilled in your knowledge. It makes you feel unfulfilled. Sometimes as parents, whether you be a father or a mother, you seeing all this information about fathers and mothers and whatnot that you feel like you don't obtain a husband and wife, vice versa, right? It might trigger unfulfillment in you. That you're saying you're not good enough. So what you want to do is you want to clear your cache and your cookies when you get to that point, when you get to that anxiety, when you get to that overwhelming feeling you have going on in your brain, where you just got so much going on to where you feel jittery, right? You can't ever rest, right? You can't get a good night's sleep. It's time to clear that cache and cookies, man. Substitute it with some positivity, right?
A lot of parents become deadbeats because they get overwhelmed. I'm not going to be a great dad. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm already behind. Same thing with moms. And, they take off across the country and they just forget their spouse or whoever they laid with and the baby, all because it just got too much for them.
God, man, that happens a lot, man. Right? You got to be able to free your mind. You got to be able to clear your cache and cookies, man. Simple as that. Because just like when your cache and cookies are cluttered, and your device doesn't work well, think how much more you and your brain and your mind. A computer can hold so much information and knowledge. Your brain, man, only has the capacity that your flesh can, really, really deal with. And so take that into consideration, man, and understand these things that, a lot of times you can take a step back and breathe, right? But this is Ecclesiastes 12:12. Really want to put emphasis on the end. Brother Azrael, you can start off for us.
You muted.
I think Obadiah has something to say.
Oh, you did?
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Con, I was gonna say, yeah, man, that's facts. Cause I know with me, man, sometimes I be having a lot of stuff going on in my head, like, just really just spiritual stuff, and I just gotta go talk to the Most High, man. So I just go separate myself, go talk to the Most High, have some like music playing of somebody playing the harp. Cause sometimes that stuff you gotta do, man. Cause sometimes in this flesh, you may just overthink without even trying to overthink. Like you just feel like a lot of thoughts running through your head, and you got a lot of stuff you're thinking about. So sometimes you just have to separate yourself and give that time to the Lord, man, and you'll feel better when you come out whether you got a closet or wherever you go in. You'll feel better, man. Sometimes you just relax and just get your thoughts together.
Come on, man. Being in this truth, man, we say it's the great awakening. Why? Because we have been enlightened, man. Our eyes have been open to the world, and sometimes being open to the world and seeing things for what they actually are, sometimes that can get overwhelming. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that can get, give you a sense of anxiety, especially as fathers on the protection side of things, and mothers, man, on the nurturing side of things, man. our mothers and everybody knows the mothers in this truth, man. They go hard, especially when it comes to looking at labels and did you hear what they said about this store, and what did you hear what they say about this brand? And sometimes, man, it can get to a point where it can really stress us out in our day-to-days, man. So sometimes we gotta take a step back and breathe a little bit on that as well. That's a mighty point, though, right? Ecclesiastes 12:12.
Ecclesiastes 12:12. And further, by these, my son, be admonished, of making many books there is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh.
Much study. And so this is talking about reading books, right? But at the same time, much studying of anything, right, can be a weariness of flesh. We done seen brothers and sisters go study this Bible, right, and end up getting bugged out, end up questioning every little word. You know what I'm saying? End up conflating allegories and stuff like that, right? Much studying is a weariness of the flesh, man. Sometimes you gotta rely on things as they appear simple. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's not good to dig deep into things, right? Because it's a weariness of flesh. Another instance, I don't have it written down, but there's the precept that says to not. I think it was Paul's advice saying to not worry about endless genealogies, man, right? Because you'll wear yourself out doing that, man. Before you know it, man, you done spent 3 months straight trying to find out who your great granddaddy is on your dad's side. You know what I'm saying? And come up with nothing. You know what I'm saying? These things can be a weariness to the flesh, right? And I didn't have this one, but I'll go to the next verse. Because at the end of the day, this is all that matters, right? This is all that matters. When you find yourself anxious or weary, when studying about anything, man, this is all that matters. Resort back to this. Go ahead.
Verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man.
Right, man. So when you feel anxiety, when you feel, especially when it comes to this Bible, don't allow yourself to dwell in that anxiety, man. Take a step back, breathe, and go back to the basics, man. Stop, if it's about to bug you out, trying to find out, the prophecies in Daniel or something like that, right? Take a break. The Bible ain't going nowhere. Well, at least, that not that we can foresee anytime soon, or you know what I mean, right? Take a break. Go focus on fearing God and keeping his commandments, right? And the peace that he has promised you, and then come back to it later. Don't allow yourself to get bugged out of anxiety and lose sleep and scratch your head and pull your beard out, right? Take a break, man. Clear your cache and cookies, right? You go to Psalms real quick. Psalms 6 and verse 6.
It's the book of Psalms, chapter 6 and verse 6. I am weary with my groaning. All the night make I my bed to swim. I water my couch with my tears.
Come on, man. It says I'm weary with my groaning. All the night I make my bed to swim. What is it talking about? I water my couch with tears, right? Sometimes you get to a point where you tossing and turning in bed just because you got so much information going through your head, man, right? You on social media so much, man, and so much information coming to you about food. You go out and grocery shop for the week, and you only come back with a jug of milk, and some sourdough bread, right? Because you couldn't decide on what you wanted to eat in the store, what you wanted to buy that was going to be fit for you to consume, right? And that's just one aspect of life. There's multiple aspects of life when you talk about men and finances and working, right? Trying to figure out, what if he needs to switch his job, or if he's about to get fired, or what he should do to what type of profession he should look into, or there's so much stuff, especially when you're in the truth, because you got to factor in your morals. Because now it's like, this job said they can hire me, but I don't think I want to, serve pork to my people. But that's what I'm gonna have to do if I take this job, and da. And so a lot of that stuff, man, can leave you anxious and overwhelmed. And at nighttime, you'll find your bed, your bed. You didn't buy it as a water bed, but you waking up in the morning, swimming because you've been sweating all night, right? And then it says your couch. You water your couch with tears, man, because some people can't take it, man. You start busting out crying out of nowhere. And then people looking at them kind of sideways, like, why are you crying? Right? All in all, it's because you ain't clear your cache and cookies, and your brain is cluttered. And you need to let some of that stuff out. You need to clear some of your cache and cookies.
Yeah, also too, some brothers, man, they be hesitant to take the next step in commitment. Should I marry this girl? I don't think I'm ready to be married. I'm gonna wait another year. It's a lot of things in life that people hesitate to because of overthinking.
Right.
Yep.
Habakkuk 2:13.
Habakkuk 2:13.
That's on me.
Okay, Con.
Habakkuk 2:13. Behold, is it not of the fear of the Lord of hosts that the people shall labor in the very fire, and the people shall weary themselves for very vanity?
Come on, man. It's at the end of the day, like Solomon said in Ecclesiastes, all is vanity. At the end of the day, it's all vanity. It amounts to nothing. It means nothing. Whether you're talking about finance, man, render to Caesar what Caesar. The essence of that phrase to me is like, man, it's money. Like, can't take it with you. You know what I'm saying? When Christ said that, he said, render to Caesar what Caesar. Right? It don't make a hill of beans to me. Christ also said, it's not what goes into a man, right? Because it is going to come out in the drop, right? Or draft or drop or whatever he said, right? Pretty much saying like, man, stop focusing so much on what you consume. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I'm not saying just to be an idiot and crap in your body, but there's a prophecy saying that we're going to be in a land where all of our food was going to be defiled.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's a point in knowing that you're not going to be able to clean to make all the food in your house clean, man. Sometimes you're going to have to just rely on faith and in essence, if the food is clean, to pray over it, right? And as it says in the Bible, man, receive it with thanksgiving if it's sanctified by the word. You know what I'm saying? We can't constantly worry about things that we just can't simply control, man. Because you trust in one thing, then you find out wickedness about it. Then you trust in another thing, and surely this can't be unclean or wicked, right? Then you find out somebody was lying or something came out with something, and it's just an on and ongoing cycle. Next thing you know, you ain't got nothing in your house.
Come on, man. That applies to everything, man. Because the New Testament tells us there's going to be some that tell you to abstain from meats, some that tell you to abstain from marriage, and those people that tell you to do those things are the overthinkers. Everything's unclean. Maybe the Most High is telling me just eat vegetables. Maybe the Most High is telling me just eat herbs. I'm gonna survive off of herbs. Or all these people are wicked. We shouldn't be laying down with it. Just don't get married. It's come from overthinking. Also, too, if you are too invested in your friend group, too invested in your church, too invested in your congregation, too invested in a community that you may be in, and all you're seeing is this, I don't know who to trust. Everybody's lying. Everybody has a scandal. Everybody's getting exposed. And now, you got an evil eye towards everybody. It might be time to clear your cache and cookies, take and reset, and stop tuning into so much. You know what I'm saying? give it a rest, because you're starting to lose control of your thoughts, man, and your judgment.
Come on, man.
And I was gonna say too, man. Like even with, when the brother was saying, when people say about the meat, that they overthinkers, and it's to the point where they overthink so much about that they make a whole doctrine and say we're not supposed to be eating meat at all. Like it's a sin to eat meat. Why they say that? Because they overthinkers. They overthink about, well, it's everything. The meat is defiled. The Lord want us to eat that, man. But you got to think people that's vegan and stuff like that. You really don't know what you eating either, though. Ezekiel 4:13 said we're gonna eat the defiled bread of the Gentiles, so we don't truly know what we eating at all in this kingdom. Period. They can say on the label what it is, but just because they say it, don't mean that's what it is. So, that's why it's good, like the brother said, pray over your food, pray over the clean food that was given to us for Thanksgiving. Pray over the clean foods, and just have faith that the Lord is gonna cleanse it for you, man, because He got the power to do that.
Yeah, man, that's a mighty point you said, man. We can't put our trust in labels either way, right? Because we know that these entities, everybody has been lying to us. And I know these entities, man, they say certain things and they write down certain things that make you think it's one way, but it's really just clever wording to get around something that they trying to hide or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And so, we gotta watch out for those things. But that's a mighty point. It's a mighty point. It's Proverbs 13:12.
Proverbs 13:12. Hope, what is it? Hope deferreth.
Before you read that too, man, I had another point, another thing too, man. Sometimes you can get so focused on or so consumed with stuff that doesn't even concern you as well that can keep you up at night, right? Before you know it, man, you worried about how I'll say it in the man's version. You worried about how a woman treats another man. You worried about how your friend's wife treats him and how she's so wicked so much that it's keeping you up at night. It's getting you out the mood, and this, that, and the third. You can't even concentrate on your own family because you're worried about how another woman is treating another man, right? And it'll keep you up at night. I just can't believe she would talk to him like that. I just can't believe she would treat him like that. And it typically doesn't go that way. It typically goes the other way, if you know what I'm saying, right? But I didn't want to make it seem like we was picking on women. Sometimes it can happen the other way too. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes we even meddle in matters. That's why it says to what? Meddle not in many matters that don't concern me, right? Sometimes you meddling in other people's matters, even though it might be tempting, to weigh in on other people's matters. Sometimes you got to let them figure it out what they got going on to preserve your peace, right? Other people's trials and tribulations doesn't always concern you. Sometimes they got to figure it out. Sometimes taking on that is going to stress you out and clutter your cash and cookies, right? So you got to be mindful of that. This is okay. You can read Proverbs 13:12.
Proverbs 13:12. Hope deferred maketh the heart sick, but when the desire cometh, it is the tree of life.
Right, man. It says hope deferred making the heart sick, meaning hope that doesn't come in a timely fashion, right? It makes your heart sick. Makes your mind sick because you constantly worried about it. You constantly thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? If you're like, and it distracts you, you can't even sleep. For instance, like you just tried out for the basketball team, and they're gonna tell you who made the team at the end of the week. Man, you so nervous. You can't sleep all week, man. You tried out on Tuesday, you gotta wait till Friday, right? And you just hoping that you make it. That hope, man, can make the heart sick. You're not even paying attention in class no more. You know what I'm saying? And so sometimes hope can get in the way of that too. And hope can actually spark your mind to spiral as well.
We know a brother, Salakia. We know a brother that got an interview on the 12th of this week. And you know, you could be hoping to hear back good news from a job, man. Sometimes jobs don't get you back as quick as you would want them to, right? Brothers on the screen know that. And you know, your hope is just like, man, it's making your heart sick because you focus on your day to day, and the people that's in charge of what you're hoping for, man, you know, they just living their normal day, taking their sweet time, and it's making you sick, but they don't know. And so when it finally arrives, man, you like, man, it all was worth it. It was, you know what I'm saying? And it's a tree of life to you. Just like in anything in life, like the brother was, all the examples the brother was saying, man, you know what I'm saying? So come.
Right, man. You know, some brothers, man, that hope will keep them up. You know, that hope will keep them up, man. They done slid in a girl's DMs, hoping she respond, man. They checking their phone every 5 minutes, see if she respond, man, keeping them up. You know, um, and then you start going in your brain like, dang, the way I worded that, was it corny? You know, was it lame? You know what I'm saying? Now you spiraling in your mind, right? This is Isaiah 49:4.
Book of Isaiah chapter 49:4. Then I said, I have labored in vain. I've spent my strength for naught and in vain. Yet surely my judgment is with the Lord and my work with my God.
Right, man. And so sometimes you can feel like this. You can feel like you have labored in vain. You have spent your money, your time, your effort for no reason, man. Because the outcome of the expectation didn't come the way you wanted it, right? And sometimes that can cause you to be weary as well, right? Especially when you keep doing it over and over again and you're not getting the outcome that you want, right? Sometimes you can labor in vain, and you can spend your strength for nothing, you know. But that just goes into to you got to control what you can control. If you can control the labor that you put in, but you can't really control the outcome, so be it, man. You know what I'm saying? And as this goes on, it says, surely my judgment is with the Lord and my work is with my God. Sometimes you just gotta be at peace with knowing that God know that you put all your all into it. Even if man don't acknowledge it, appreciate it, whatever, know that God understands and he sees it, right? And he'll reward you in his own time. Right.
Man, you know, and that happens a lot when you get on this walk of obedience, because you want to do so much for the kingdom, so much for the people of God, so much for the Most High, that, you know, you put a lot into life. You put a lot of money into charity. You put a lot of effort into building. You put a lot of thought into ideas to bring people to the kingdom and to win souls. And you may only have one or two people that notice, so it seems, right? And you may get down about that. But you, like the brothers just read, like we just read in the last precept, gotta give it to the Lord and understand you're not doing it for the people. You're not doing it for the likes. You're not doing it for the mentions or for people to acknowledge you. You're doing it because the Most High God sees you, man. He sees your effort, right? He sees that you're trying. And at the end of the day, if the Most High God wants to use you, he knows that, okay, I got somebody on the bench over there. If this person go down, I know I can depend on him. You don't even see it that way, right? But you know, you being looked at by the coach, and that's the Most High.
Come on, man. That's a mighty point. Come, and that the head coach always gonna see you, man. Even when he doesn't see, even when you don't think he's seeing you, right? Sometimes you might put that effort in, you might not get that playing time immediately, man. But he's planning on using you next season. Never know, man. You gotta just control what you can control, man. Grow not weary and well doing. This is Psalms 38:4.
Psalm 38:4. For my iniquities are gone over my head, as in heavy burden they are too heavy for me.
Sometimes our past can get in the way and can clutter our mind, man. Sometimes we can feel like we haven't done enough to clear our past. Sometimes we feel like you know, this was kind of said to me not too long ago, sometimes we can feel like, man, I feel like I can be doing more. I feel like not much has changed since I became a new creature. I feel like I'm not where I'm supposed to be. Sometimes we can get in our head about that as well, right? And sometimes that can cloud our judgment and hold us back. We got to understand that's the enemy, though. We got to understand this: the enemy is the one that tells you you're not good enough, right? Because when we come into the truth, become a new creature, we know that everything in our past, right, things that we're overcoming, the Most High has said that He's casted that stuff as far as the east from the west, right? So we got to understand that stuff and not let it be a heavy burden for us. Because what did Christ say He came to do? He said to lean on Him, man. Take a hold of Him, for His burden is light. His yoke is easy and His burden is light. So if it's not light and easy to you, man, understand it's Satan trying to get into your ear to clutter your mind. And you got to clear your cache and cookies so you can start feeling light and easy again. Because what is it? The cache and cookies. What is the reason why you got to clear your cache and cookies? Because they get overloaded. They get too heavy, man. You got to clear them so that the device can work properly again. Sometimes when you get too heavy spiritually, emotionally, you get drained, right? You can't go no more. Sometimes you got to take a step back and breathe, right? And remember the promises that the Most High has given to us so you can take hold of that light and easy yoke, right? Let's go to Mark real quick. The book of Mark, chapter 4 and 19. I think this really goes with this lesson as well.
The book of Mark, chapter 4, 19. And the cares of this world, and the deceitfulness of riches, and the lusts of other things entering in, choke the word, and it becometh unfruitful.
I brought this up because sometimes the cares that we take on, the heaviness that we take on, this is the parable, man, right here, of the sower, right? Sometimes it says the cares of the world and the deceitfulness of riches and the lust of other things can choke the word out that was sown into you. What does that look like? Sometimes we get so cluttered in our mind, we give into anxiety so much that it seems like the word doesn't even have a fix for what we're going through, right? And you get so caught up in your thoughts and all that stuff that it seems even burdensome to even open up the scriptures to see what the scriptures say about what you're going through. And a lot of it is just because you can't find the time to take a break from thinking about all the things that you're thinking. When you get to that point, man, you got to take a hold of yourselves, man. Go to settings, hit clear cache and cookies. You got to pick up the Bible, man. You got to go back to your first love. We're going to read that too, right? But you got to be able to make that switch and to check out and rely on faith. We're going to get into that too, right? There was an instance, man, where, and I ain't going to say no names, but there was an instance, man, where we were talking to this mighty brother that was in the Israelite community, quote unquote, and he was venting to us about how he just wanted a wife, right? And how he was lonely every night. And he asked us what he should do, and we hit him with a few scriptures, man, good scriptures too. Forgot which ones we gave him to, but they were good scriptures, right on time. And he looked at us and he said, I don't need scriptures right now. I need the warmth of a body, right? And that goes into play of the word not being enough. When you get to that point, you got to take a step back and clear cache and cookies, man. Like Solomon said, all is vanity. That warm body you talking about, brother, is vanity, bro. And vexation of spirit, right? The food that we worried about is vanity and vexation of spirit. The finance that we worry about is vanity and vexation of spirit.
Con, I was going to say, did you freeze?
I might have.
Con, I was gonna say, it says the lust of other things entering in. We're gonna say on my run the other day, I was just praying about take the taste out of my mouth. That's usually what I pray whenever I feel like a certain lust is coming over me, whether that be for money, clothes, anything you may have, anything that may tempt you. You ask the Lord to take the taste out of your mouth. And so some of the things I was thinking, I was like, man, some people are so in love with their lusts, whether it's for weed, women, whatever. So many people, they're so in love with their lust that they wouldn't even pray for God to take the taste out of their mouth because they would miss it so much. Lord, women are just so beautiful. I just love looking at women. Don't take that. It ain't nothing wrong to look. Bro, take that taste out of your mouth. But a lot of people, they don't know what life would be like if their mind couldn't wander on, or their eyes couldn't gaze, or their mouth couldn't taste on certain things, right? So we got to be able to take a step back when it gets to that far. Like the brother Denal said, if it get that far, you got to take a step back. I mean, I gotta release and clear some things. Ask the Lord to take the taste out of my mouth for these things. I got to ask the Lord to clear my cash and cookies, because right now, I'm getting bogged down.
God, man, that's another mighty point, man. This is so, and so just to go along with the story that I previously did, right? What I previously shared. This is a precept for that. If a brother could read this.
Kind of Ecclesiasticus or Sirach 36 and 25. Where no hedge is, there the possession is spoiled, and he that hath no wife will wander up and down mourning.
Right, man. He that hath no wife will wander up and down mourning, man. That stuff is grievous to a lot of brothers, man. Brothers get up in age, 37, 40, ain't married yet. Sometimes that stuff is grievous, man. And what it can do is it can clutter your cash and your cookies. One thing I want to point out, this is a sidebar too. I want to point something out. In the book of Sirach, Ecclesiasticus, a lot of wisdom books, right? They'll say something like this. They'll word it like this: where no hedges, there the possession is spoiled, and he that hath no wife will wander up and down mourning. A lot of times people can read something like this and think it gives way, or it permits you to go up and down mourning, right? It's not giving you permission to wander up and down mourning because you don't have a wife, and it's not giving you permission to feel sorrowful because you don't have a wife. It's letting you know that this sometimes occurs when you don't have a wife, but it's not giving you permission to do it, right? I wanted to point that out because a lot of things in Ecclesiasticus is written like this. It's giving us wisdom of things that may happen cause and effect wise, right? Cause and effect wise, but it's not necessarily saying you should act like that. If you got ears to hear and eyes to see, you understand what I'm saying. It's a sidebar, but when you read in Ecclesiasticus and you're going through some of that stuff in Ecclesiasticus, understand that it's not everything you're reading is not like law or commandment. You know what I'm saying? So when you read something, read it within context and know that yes, this sometimes happens, but is this telling me that it's okay for me to act like this, right? Or is it just saying that as humans, sometimes we're susceptible to act like this? But at the end of the day, we shouldn't be mourning over women. Women really shouldn't be mourning over men. We shouldn't be going out our wits with people. We shouldn't be allowing them to affect our lives, especially if we're single, man. Because again, it's all is vanity. You should be focused on the Lord. Go ahead, Brother Obadiah.
Yeah, and when he wrote this, he probably was just going off what he seen. Men ain't got no wives, and he always seen them. They was wandering up and down mourning. So he probably seen a lot of men doing that. So from his experience, he wrote it down.
Come on, man. There's other instances too. Like he said, I think he said something to like, if a woman is found taking care of her husband, she'll be bitter and sorrowful or something like that, right? It's not saying that it's giving you way. It's giving you permission to feel bitter and sorrowful if you fall hard on hard times and you got to support your husband. It's just saying that being a human in this flesh will lead to that feeling, but he's not saying that it's right to feel that way. He's just saying oftentimes it happens that way, right? But you should strive for what the Most High has promised us, and you should strive, right, for the promises that he's given us, and to strive for the Spirit of the Lord, which gives us the fruits of the Spirit. So if you're not operating in the fruits of the Spirit, don't take what you're reading as a law or commandment. Take it as experience and wisdom, and to learn from that thing. If anything, he's telling you, he's relaying these messages so you don't act that way, and you can fight against the temptation to act that way, right? But that was just a sidebar. Back on track. So, you had something to say? Somebody raise their hand. Con. So, back on track. How to clear cache and cookies, man. How to clear cache and cookies. Simply just going back to the basics, right? Simply going back to the basics. I'm going to go to Revelation real quick. Revelation 2 and verse number 4. Let's see. Go ahead. I think it's on Danal. I mean, Azrael.
I just read.
Revelation chapter 2 and verse 4. Nevertheless, I have somewhat against thee, because thou hast left thy first love.
Right, man. This is Christ speaking, right? It's red letter, right? He's saying that he has an ought against us because we left our first love, right? And that's what it takes to clear your cache and cookies, to remember your first love. Go back to the basics. What does it mean by going back to the basics? Let's go to 1 Corinthians real quick. I think this is it. I could be wrong on this one. We're about to see 1 Corinthians 3 and verse number 2. Go ahead.
1 Corinthians 3 and 2. I have fed you with milk and not with meat, for hitherto ye were not able to bear it, neither yet now are ye able.
Right. Sometimes, man, we think we can take on more than we can. And that's not just talking about the Bible. That's in all aspects of life, right? You think you can take on more as a mother, and you find out you got yourself overwhelmed. You think you can take more on as a father, and you find yourself overwhelmed. You think you can take more on as a leader, right? As a teacher, and find yourself more overwhelmed. And the Most High is saying, hey, look, man, he fed you with milk, right? Because you weren't ready for meat yet. You weren't ready for meat yet. And even now, even though it's been some time, you think you're ready for meat, but you're not. But it's okay, because the milk is still good, man. You can always resort back to the milk and be satisfied in life. Stop trying to stress yourself out, sometimes we can get so focused on trying to elevate and progress and not just take in the satisfaction of life, of the simple things, right? And that leads me to this precept. After reading this precept about milk and meat, go to the classic precept in Isaiah, and go to Isaiah and what? 28 and 9. Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 28 and verse 9. Whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast.
Weaned from the milk and drawn from the best, man. You know what I'm saying? He gives those milk that he teaches the doctrine to, in the knowledge, right? Knowledge and wisdom shall be stability of our time. That's what's going to keep us stable, is the milk, man. The simple things. The simple things is going to keep us stable. So whenever we're finding ourselves unstable or wearisome, clear your cache and cookies, go back to the milk, man. Ecclesiastes 12 and 13, fear God and keep his commandments. Focus on doing that. for a time. Take a break on progressing and elevating. Go back to the basics for a little while. Get your peace of mind, get your sleep back, and then revisit it sometimes, right? Let me go to 1 Corinthians real quick again. 1 Corinthians 1 and verse 27. Go ahead.
1 Corinthians 1 and 27. But God hath chosen the foolish things of the world to confound the wise, and God hath chosen the weak things of the world to confound the things which are mighty.
Right, man. The simple things confound the wise, man. You ever seen somebody and it's like, dang, bro, nothing shakes that person. Nothing shakes that person. He can be going through everything. He's still smiling. He's still sleeping all right and all of that. Something happens that seems like it could be disastrous, but he doesn't react to it in the way somebody else would. And you kind of like, dang, man, how you get like that? It's because he's tapping into his faith, right? We see this. I'm not going to go to it, but we see this with Christ sleeping through the storm, right? Because he has faith knowing, first of all, he has faith knowing that he's a Messiah, and that's not going to be how he goes out, right? It's not from the storm. But also he understands, man, what they say in Spanish is que será, será, right? What will be, will be. What will be, will be. And sometimes you got to go back to that and understand that's where you're going to get your rest in. That the Most High knows your end from the beginning. If it's your time to go, man, it's your time to go, right? If it's your time to go, it's your time to go. If the Most High wants you to get killed in a storm or a natural disaster, by golly, he had a design from the beginning. If the Most High wanted you to die, right, because you ate an Oreo, hey man, it's just your turn to go. You know what I'm saying? And so sometimes we gotta go back to tapping into our faith and relying on who orchestrates our life and who knows our end from the beginning. Just like Christ. Christ knew his end from the beginning. He knew he wasn't finna die on that ship, even though everybody else with him was freaking out. Right? He had to remind them, like, hey, bro, come on, man. You asking me why I'm sleeping because I done told you this. I done told you how my ending was gonna go, right? I done told you who I was, and y'all still tripping. Sometimes we gotta tap into our faith and be like Christ, man. Understand that, hey, man, que será, será. I said that kind of like it was like Arabic or something, man. But
Yeah.
what will be, man. Let's see. I got a couple more precepts, like 2 more precepts. I'm gonna go to the book of Galatians, man. Galatians 3 and verse 24. Because tapping into your faith looks like this, man.
Galatians chapter 3 and verse 24. Wherefore the law was our schoolmaster to bring us unto Christ, that we might be justified by faith.
Right. Sometimes, man, we be keeping the law, statutes, and commandments, and it just doesn't seem like nothing is right. You got to keep doing it until you hit that point where your faith is prevalent. I'm trying to tell you right now, man, you understand, you know where your faith lies in, that peace comes in if you keep doing it long enough, and there's just like a switch, man. And it's like, boom. Now I'm not just doing these things because I'm supposed to. I'm doing it because I want to. And not only that, I'm enlightened why I should do it, right? I know it's for my good, right? I know it benefits me. But before that, sometimes we can feel like we just going through the motions. Sometimes we can feel like ain't nothing changed and stuff like that. And that's not how we should be. Matter of fact, to precept this, we'll go to the last precept of the day. This is one of my favorites. So this is the goal everybody should have when trying to tap into their faith, becoming a new creature, clearing your cache and cookies. This is the goal that you should have. we're gonna go to Ecclesiasticus or Sirach 21:21. 21:21. That's how I remember it. Right? Sirach 21:21.
Sirach chapter 21 and verse 21. Learning is unto a wise man as an ornament of gold and like a bracelet upon his right arm.
Right. Go ahead. Hold up. No, I don't want that. I think it might be the one before that. Is it? Hey man, I thought they were consecutive. Yeah, they are. There they go. You can read 21 and 19.
Verse 19. Doctrine unto fools is as fetters on the feet and like manacles on the right hand.
Right. Fetters and manacles is like handcuffs, right? Like chains. Sometimes it's doctrine, sometimes it's word to fools, right? Or to the unlearned. Keeping the law, statutes, and commandments seems like it's holding them back from accomplishing everything they want to do in life. Sometimes it feels like it's just another burden they got to worry about. Sometimes they feel like they're still not free, right? I was having a conversation with my wife, and and she kind of, I ain't gonna get into all of that. But sometimes people can feel like, man, before I came into the truth, I felt lighter and I felt more peace, right? But that's just you going through the process. That's just you going through the process of becoming a new creature, right? And one thing that a lot of us fail to realize is just because we know we're Israelites, and we know we got to keep the law, statutes, commandments, doesn't mean that we have become fully new creatures. Sometimes we're still in the transition. You're in the transition if you haven't made the transition to where being in this truth feels like not fetters or manacles, but what? But go ahead and read this one again, 21:21.
Learning is unto a wise man as an ornament of gold and like a bracelet upon his right arm.
And we know when we get goodly things, man, we know how we feel. We feel upbeat. We feel proud of them, ready to show them off. We understand them, right? When we get good things, we know all about it. You know what I'm saying? You get a nice car, you know the ins and out of it, the secret buttons and all of that come with it, right? And so that's what happens when we finally transition over. My encouragement to you is to, within clearing your cache and cookies, to go back to the simple things, go back to fearing God and keeping his commandments, right? And then within keeping these laws, I know it sounds foolish, know it sounds simple, but as you keep them and as the Most High is pricking your heart, one day you're going to wake up and boom, you're going to be like, man, I don't know why I was thinking that way. I wouldn't trade this truth for nothing. I know I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. I know I'm doing exactly what I need to do, right? I know that I can control what I can control, and the other things I can leave to the Most High, and I don't have to clutter my mind anymore, right? I can be in this for the long haul, because that's what happens. Sometimes we get so cluttered in our mind that, a lot of people fall to the wayside if they don't got no support and all that stuff, because they don't clear their cache and cookies. Because a lot of people don't even know that they can clear their cache and cookies. They don't know what cache and cookies are, right? But when you know you can clear it, right, there should be never no excuse to fall out of this truth, right? To cause you to get another laptop, another phone, or whatever. You can tap into this first of going back to the basics, keeping things simple, right, and not over worrying about much, right? Because all is vanity and vexation, and regaining your peace again, right? So that's my class today, about clearing your cache and cookies. Clearing your cache and cookies. Any brothers have anything else?
The brother Denal mentioned about sometimes, coming into this walk of obedience, you may feel like heavier. And it's because so many things are going through your mind, man. The phrase "life is what you make it" is true. Life is what you make it, man. If you want to be playful and you want to be happy, you can make your life happy and full of experiences that are great. But if you bog yourself down with too many thoughts of, I got to impress this person, I got to impress this person, I got to make sure I'm doing this right, I'll be struggling with this, and you're never going to be happy. A lot of times we reflect on our first love, like the precept that was brought out. And when we reflect on it, right, we remember the fire that we had when we first came in to the knowledge of the truth. And you got to think, you were at the time, you didn't know it, but you were doing the bare minimum.
Right.
You was barely keeping feast days.
Right.
Because you didn't know how to. Like, go ahead.
I was gonna say, man, that's a mighty point. It made me remember too that a lot of times before you came into the truth, you felt more free. You felt more joyous and more giddy because you had less pressure on you. I ain't gonna lie, when you come into this truth, you got some pressure. But just like the scripture that we just read, that pressure can either feel like handcuffs and chains, or that pressure can feel like gold bracelets, right? It's all about perspective, like the brother Azrael was looking at. And until you can get to the point where that pressure feels like gold bracelets and a necklace given to you by the Most High, you won't be able to feel the freeness, the liberty that comes with being a part of Christ's seed. You know what I'm saying? Being a part of the lost sheep of the house of Israel, or the chosen, or the seed of promise, right? You're not gonna feel that liberation until you finally hit that switch. But my encouragement to you guys is that you keep on going as you transition into that new creature, right? Go ahead, brother Azrael, if you have more.
Yeah, I'll end it with this. The scripture I would add was, he didn't give us a spirit of confusion, but of love, power, and a sound mind. Meaning the Most High God can control your thoughts if you let him. We read a precept that said, even though you're weary, or when you are weary, just give it to the Lord, pretty much, paraphrasing. And you got to understand the Most High can control your thoughts and give you a sound mind. If you don't have a sound mind, you need to take a step back, give it to the Lord, man. But mighty lesson.
Anything else from brother Obadiah?
Like, mighty lesson, man.
Come on, man. Clearing your cache and cookies. Hope you guys enjoyed it, man. We'll see you guys next time, which will be tomorrow, I believe, for Wednesday. Hope this was edifying, man. Hope this is encouraging. Hope you learned something, not just about cash and cookies, right? Because I know it was probably a lot of people's first time learning about cash and cookies. But hopefully you learned about how to clear your cache and cookies spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally, right? And we'll see you guys next time. We say shalom, shalom, and shalom. Remember, Christ said, if you're not gathering, you're scattering. And we'll see you guys next time.